What's up, people? It's been a really long time since last time I did a video like this, and I thought after putting myself up to date with everything that is happening out there, said, you know what, I have to say something because I have some experience to share as well. And let's start with the ASUS situation and why I've decided to move away from this brand. And definitely it's not after Steve's or Jay2Cents videos in relation to ASUS motherboards blowing up the CPUs and entire systems. It wasn't about that. If you check my previous videos on this channel, you'll see that I was very disappointed by the PG27 UQ, which was branded as by Linus. I think he kind of put this name out on the market, the god of monitors back then. And this was like a very pricey monitor. It was like top of the line in every aspect, and people had to pay like top dollars, pounds in my case, for this monitor. And it kind of like it disappointed me after 2 years. So basically this monitor got like was not lighting up anymore, so it was like just dead in the water. And after few searches and inquiries, and I've spoke with a few technicians, I've sent the monitor to someone to check it out, and yeah, the response was lame, especially from the ASUS team, who told me that basically because the item is out of warranty, they can't do anything, they can't fix it. They don't have a unit that will, take care of this kind of repairs, or team that could, do something about it. So there's nothing they can do. So this monitor was somewhere around almost $3,000, or if you put it in British pounds, like 2,500, 2,600 British pounds, which is a lot for a monitor. And for this kind of piece of hardware, or should I say piece of shit, not to last you even like 3 years, it's a very big disappointment. So that was my first first disappointment with ASUS, and that was like more than a year before. And if you look at the videos that I posted around that time, you can see that my case is not something like singular. People are still adding comments saying, "Oh, my PG27 left me after 1 year, immediately after warranty was over." So people are coming out, and that was, at the end of the day, that was a bad product in terms of how long you can use it, and the worth of the money in the long run. It was a very bad product. So yeah, no help from the team, from ASUS team, in regards to what path I should go, because this is a ridiculous amount of money I paid for a monitor, which was in terms of image quality and performance and everything, it was like top of the line. Everyone knows that. But in terms of sustainability and how long I've used that monitor, it was shit. 600 pounds or dollars monitor would have lasted me longer. I actually have, so when I started this channel was like almost 5 years ago. I still have the Predator monitor. Acer Predator monitor is still like behind me, still usable, perfectly running. The only, I would say, bad thing about it is it only hits like 60 hertz in 4K. So that's why I'm not using it anymore. And this is why, because of the performance and the image quality and all that, I gave ASUS another chance with this PG40 3UQ, which is a OLED monitor, and so far so good. But we're still in the warranty, so I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. And by the way, this is the last chance I gave ASUS with the hardware. But you know, we're gonna come back to this discussion and this monitor and the things that I experienced so far. Now let's jump in the, like, what made me to what gave me the impulse to change to MSI, basically, because now most of my hardware pieces are from MSI. So it was an upgrade time when 4090 was out, when actually when 11900K was out, and I had to, like, so the Asus monitor failed me. I used to have Asus motherboard. That one didn't fail me. I didn't have any issues with it. But you know how I like to pair my components. So the next brand, I was thinking, like, which, if I would be to switch to something else, what brand fits well with Intel, because I'm not gonna switch from Intel or Nvidia. So what brand would go very well with Intel? And my first like name that came to my mind was MSI. So I started to compare things, like whatever MSI was offering with whatever Asus was offering. So I started with okay, I'm gonna change the motherboards. First, I went to a cheap DDR4 motherboard that was capable. It was LG 1700 for the new 11900K back then, and I'm telling you, that motherboard, I still have it. I've listed it to. I wanted to sell it, but you know, eventually I didn't, and I'll tell you why at some point, if I remember in this video. I'll tell you why. Maybe I'm gonna build a second system using that motherboard. It's that good. In fact, let me tell you that the best result I got with this 11900K was on that DDR4 motherboard with DDR4. The best result in Cinebench, I think it was like around 29,000 points. So when I switched to another MSI board, DDR5 compatible, because DDR5 became available and cheaper, I never managed to hit that kind of score in Cinebench. So I never hit 29K with DDR5 motherboard. But MSI always seemed to me to be like a very solid brand, and they are doing a very good job working with Intel. So it was big points there. They scored big points in this sector, in motherboard section. On the other hand, Asus, I know Asus as well. They do good. They used to do good motherboards, but look what happened now. I mean, I don't know how they managed to fuck it up so bad. So I think my decision was good back then, given like what happened in the last month. So I went for MSI motherboard that I'm using now. It's from a low tier DDR4 MSI. I went to a medium tier, like mid-range MSI motherboard, because I'm gonna give you another advice here. Like, don't waste your money on super expensive motherboards. If you don't do like super high crazy overclock, if you're not using, you know, liquid nitrogen, this kind of crazy stuff that you see in the video, just don't waste your money on that. I mean, A mid-tier motherboard should be enough. Many times even a low-tier motherboard, as long as they give you the right connectors, you have the right connectors to it, like, and give you the opportunity, the possibility to, you know, to add another SSD or this kind of stuff. That's all you need. The performance on your gaming or whatever is not going to be significant. Anyway, moving forward, I was thinking like, okay, so I get a new CPU, I get a new motherboard, I need a cooler. So back then there were like two top options: MSI Core Liquid 360, Core Liquid 360, the second version, and Ryujin 2 360 from Republic of Gamers. Now, both of them, they look absolutely stunning, and I was leaning towards Ryujin because, you know, it's like hard to give up on a brand that you actually like a lot. So for me, in order to, you know, give up to that Ryujin, I had to put them like head to head and see the performance. And I've noticed that Core Liquid 360 was much better in any scenarios than Ryujin, and it was cheaper. Although it was like 316 pounds or something, 360, which correlates to around $400, $420. Again, a very expensive cooler for your CPU, but you know, it's worth it. At least for me, it was worth it. Obviously, you can find something cheaper that will give you like similar performance. But what I'm trying to say is that, again, Republic of Gamers Ryujin 2 was charging much more. That one was around 600 pounds here in UK, which was absolutely insane. Plus, you couldn't find it on the market that time. It was like a long wait for it. So, you know, I said, you know what? I have availability. The price is much better. The performance is much better. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is what you should aim for: performance for the money. So there you go. Another hardware failed from ROG, from Republic of Gamers, map, I would say, or shelf, for me at least. Now, it came because we were like in the same time everything happened with Intel releasing the new CPUs, the 1100 series. Then Nvidia released the 40 series, and we ended up in, okay, we're gonna get the Strix 4090 or the MSI, because now we had like an image coming up: motherboard MSI, cooler MSI. I have some other components that are MSI. My headphones are MSI. And you know what? I said, let's put them head to head. The Strix 4090 and the MSI Supreme X 4090. I wanted the water cooled version MSI, but I've seen the temperatures compared to the MSI Supreme X 4090, and they were like a little bit disappointing, because I was expecting a much more cooler GPU in stress scenarios, and it was not compared to MSI Supreme X 4090. And both of them, they were better in terms of temperatures than a Strix 4090. A Strix 4090, that was like the most expensive 4090 you could get that time. And again, for what? The Strix 4090 is running with around 50 megahertz higher on a GPU, on a core clock, but that's very easily achievable with the MSI Supreme X 4090 with, again, better temperatures. So why would you pay with around 300, 400 pounds slash dollars more for something that doesn't give you such a, performance uplift for that kind of money? So again, another piece of hardware from Republic of Gamers that went down for me, down from the shelves. So obviously I went for the MSI Supreme X 4090, which is the air-cooled version and is doing an absolutely amazing job. No problems at all. No problems with the connectors. I know there was some talks back then with, but I think those things happened because people didn't know exactly how to connect the power supply to the GPU. So they were using all kind of improvisations, and at the end of the day, everything turned up well, and the GPUs are working super performance up to this days. Now, I'm coming back to, after all this, I'm coming back to the OLED, the PG43UQ OLED HDR10 that I have. As far as I've experienced so far, there's nothing compared to the image quality that these guys are managing to bring to the market. And that's why I gave ASUS another chance with this monitor. Although I've been disappointed by a monitor, but the image quality is absolutely insane, and especially on an OLED monitor. This is my first OLED monitor, and one thing that kind of convinced me to get this model was the cooling solution. I think one of the problems that the PG27UQ had was that it was missing that cooling solution, and many times was hitting so much. The heat from that monitor was absolutely insane, and it had like a small fan, but I don't think it was enough. And this PG43UQ has some cooling solutions implemented, and everything looks fine. I didn't have like a single issue with it. But again, I hope, just let's knock on wood, I'm still in the warranty time, so I still have like 1.5 years of warranty on it. No problems. We'll see after how it wasn't cheap. Again, this is not a cheap monitor, and I would, in terms of price, I would not recommend it. In terms of quality, if you want something absolutely stunning for your HDR10 experience, and games like Cyberpunk with all the blings and blanks switched on to the max, then go for it. This is the monitor to go for it if you have the money for. Otherwise, I'm sure you can get like a cheaper option out there that would give you, like, I don't know, close to performance and image quality. But for me, it was absolutely great. This monitor was absolutely great. Anyway, yeah. So this is the last chance I'm giving to this brand. Now, as things are obvious, this channel, when it started, I've started with ASUS. Now, because of the disappointments, I switched to MSI, and so far so good with this brand. I mean, no problems with the GPU, no problems with the motherboard, no problems with the cooler. Everything is running good. Everything is super stable, and probably I'm gonna go on with this brand in the future. Now that we talk about, I mean, I've brought the word about the future. Let's talk a little bit about the future upgrades that you're gonna see on this system. First of all, we have to see what path Intel is going. Like, will they change the socket for the new CPUs? If they stay with 1700 socket, that would be great. I think the information is already there, but I don't know it yet. I didn't check, to be honest. But if they stay in the same socket, 1700, that would be amazing. I don't have to change my motherboard or the expensive CPU cooler that I have. Hopefully, it's gonna fit with the next socket, which would be great. I'm thinking about faster RAM because now it's more available. It's much more cheaper than it used to be. And yeah, so in terms of like, let's see how it goes. Like, what are they offering with these new CPUs? Because believe me, I don't feel like the system that I have now, I don't feel like it's suffering because of the CPU power. And I don't feel like this GPU is, hurting because it doesn't have like a faster CPU. I don't play games in low resolution. I only play games in 4K. So I'm heavily relying on GPU power. So for me, I would rather invest in a powerful GPU than a super fast CPU, because I'm not playing in 1080p or 4040p. I'm playing only in 4K. So, we will see what kind of performance they offer with the new CPUs, and we will see if if altogether it's worth changing the motherboard, changing the cooler, and because eventually we're gonna have to get the new CPU. So there you go. Probably somewhere in the future I will get the new CPU if I manage to sell the 3090 and the 4090 and the 2080 Ti. That I have like 3 top of the line GPUs now that I will be kind of stuck with in the future, and I don't like to pile up hardware because it loses value anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna have like 3 top tier GPUs that nobody wants to. I mean, it's not like nobody wants to take them, but they offer you like shitty prices on it, and I don't want to sell it. Giving a 3090 for 500 pounds. Fuck it. I'm not gonna a Strix 3090 for 500 pounds. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it there in the box, and from time to time I'm gonna test games in 4090 versus 3090 versus 5090. Fuck it, leave it there. So yeah, that's the problem that I have with piling up hardware. Now, in terms, because we are like a gaming channel, so we test games here. I have 2 games that I already bought, Phantom Liberty and Stalker 2. So these 2 games I already bought. They are pre-ordered. Phantom Liberty is gonna come in September, so just few months from now. Can't wait to play that one. I don't think in terms of performance we're gonna be hit that hard, because it's the same engine, same. Okay, they will add some things or whatever, but okay, maybe we're gonna be like 2-3 frames down. But 4090 is still a super capable GPU, and there are so many settings there. We can find a way around it. So definitely is gonna 4090 is gonna do a great job in Phantom Liberty. Now with Stalker 2, this is like a different talk, because you all know I've bought this 4090 for Stalker 2, which is supposed to be released in December last year, and it was postponed. And now hopefully they will do something that will. I want this 4090, put to the ground in terms of performance. I want this Stalker 2 to be how Cyberpunk was for 2080 Ti, is for 2080 Ti. So it will give me a reason to upgrade further. But if Stalker 2 will be a disappointment in December, and 4090 will be able to trash it, then it will like put a big question mark on future upgrade for the GPU. Because for me, a guy who's working 5 days a week, there are other things, you know, it's like to take into consideration. And as you can see, I'm not releasing videos very often lately because I got caught up in work and things that like social life sometimes, and I don't have that much. So there are like sometimes there is even 1 week or 2 weeks in a row when I don't even switch on my computer to play something or do a video or whatever. So it's just my GPU, my 4090 just lies there, you know. So yeah, that was everything I wanted to say, and I hope this video kind of brought you up to speed, to up to date with everything that I think and why I took the decision and what made me gave up on that brand, on ASUS. It's a it used to be a good brand. It used to be a very good brand, and they do amazing products, amazing designs, and they know how to promote the whatever they are releasing, but the quality is not there anymore. And I've seen it myself, and I've seen it like a year ago, and people are still, as I was saying, people are still adding comments to that video, and you can check it yourself. And you see the signs are not good, products are failing, and you know it's up to ASUS how what path they will go, but the future doesn't sound that good, doesn't look that good. So you know, thank you for watching, and I will see you, who knows, very soon in the next video. Take care, stay safe.